Okay guys, back at you. Custom built for play go mode with the shredder. First thoughts after the tire change, and people, I don't know, people seem to be tripping about the stripping of the spur gear. Okay, let's look at it just like this, people. Common damn sense. What I realized right off the gate, the tires, they take more power, so you're going to need more torque and a little more power, I guess. My guess. That right there may need to get upped because these tires grip everything. So it's no crying come later. It's just more or less a common sense thing. Like I said, these tires, no lean, no nothing. They turn, no tipping, no anything. Only issue I have had, and it's not an issue, but it comes with the hobby, is that I had to trim this edge a little bit. And if you notice, most RC vehicles, when it comes down to this area, you have an extra, let me see, how can I say this? It's a little extra layer here. Like this here, this little bump that comes out, it goes all the way around. I just had to trim that down so this one tread on this side here didn't skim it. Because you see the resistance. Now if you turn the wheels, then yes, you'll hit it. It's not going to be on a steady where it gets stuck, but you'll snag the body. And that puts wear and tear on what? Your spur, your motor, your diffs. So think about that, people. Like I said, it's common sense. Next thing is that motor. Those fans, if they're not hooked up, no matter how cold it is, I suggest you hook those up or some kind of cooling for your fan. For your motor. Now today I didn't. It was kind of maybe in the low 40s today. So I ran without it. So, and I felt the difference in the heat. So that's something to think about. Now, let's move further back. As far as the tires, they don't rub. All you need is about that much space. They don't rub. It'll drop down and do its thing. As you can see, it doesn't rub. Still, it will be no rub, trust. Your car doesn't even drop down that far to get that rub. That's bottoming out. But you're about here when you're driving. So that space is plenty. They don't sway and hit. As you can see, you still have the space. Even when I turn and like giving it maybe the turn motions from the G-force of turning, the body will lean. But that's it. This one I have to ankle out a little more. That's it with that. That's me 100%. So tires, they run nice. You can feel the weight difference in here too. You can feel the weight difference in here too. So that would be more of a reason to give it more power if you want to go to the 6S and change that spur. Bottom line, these tires hug, and you don't slide with these things. When they want to stop, you stop. So if you have a reverse on one of these things here, yeah, you're going to tear that spur up. Because when this thing stops with these tires here, it stops really, I'm going to say, a little bit after a dime. I'm about to say 12 cents. So that's what I've realized so far. I am going to go up in KV and go to a 6S. From what I've seen, like I said, I don't buy anything unless I do my research. I've heard the complaints. All the complaints were nothing that I couldn't fix. Nothing that I couldn't fix. So it was a good, I guess, heads up / complaint / crying episode from a lot of people on YouTube, Facebook, RC groups that I'm in. Thanks for the input. That's all I can really say. You know, I don't hate on nobody's opinion. What I try to do is fix the negative in the opinion. So, hey, another thing I've heard a couple people doing is going up in the motor gear, which I'll try that once I go up, because go down in motor gear. Still want to take it easy on the spur. I have the replacement, the upgrade, and I'm going to get another plastic one too, just to be on the safe side. And I'm going to get one for my other RCs too that I have that I'm thinking of going a little higher. But as you can see, yeah, it's a smooth run. And it's as long as you center these tires on this tread here, it's not too bumpy of a run. It still rides smooth. Yes, they do balloon. So I would suggest also too, setting your diff oil, getting you some diff oil, because like I said, these tires grip. The last thing you want is this grip, the rear tire grip tight as it can on that ground, and you have this spinning for no reason and then slap the ground. You will end up shocking your diff, which basically a jerk. Meanwhile, it's gears in there. The dog bones will be good. You don't have to worry about these things. I don't think this thing even has the power right now to even tear those up. They're kind of thick, and plus they're cheap. So, that jerk will hit this box, maybe hit here and strip this. And if you're unlucky, it'll make it all the way to your motor, which it shouldn't, but I avoid all kind of issues. So the first thing I think will probably go on a 6S that I'm looking at is maybe this gear, which I'm thinking maybe just switch it out, or being as though it's going to be a test run, my first one, leave it in, and if I strip it, I strip it. Because like I said, you're going to be playing with a new throttle, everything. So, yeah, it's a beast to me. It doesn't bottom out. I'm still going to put dampers on here though, because I have about a good 8-foot hill that I'm looking at, and maybe not from top to ground, but jump and you miss. So, and these tires are extra, like all that. They're beefy. So when you turn and hit, I don't even really think you're going to even touch the rim. So that's how beefy they are. You don't have to worry about cracking a rim. Badlands is a good brand, I guess, if that's what you want to call them. So, like I said, I have no complaints. But like I said, I noticed, like I said, the main thing is about these tires are that extra space you're going to need, because they sink in. Like your hubs are in there. And usually you'll get about maybe this much space, whereas you can grab and set this with a pair of pliers and just be even. So you see what it is. It's about maybe a good inch. It's about fingertips, finger widths, space that's taken away from these on this tire. And I'm gonna give you another size up again, just so you can know what's going on really here. So that's your front, and this is your rear. That's your front. This is your rear here. So you see how much wider they are. So that's more than about what I actually, well, it's according to that space, yeah, that's what it would be. But your arms will have your wheels out here, the original factories. Maybe I would say here. So about that much extra space you lose from here to here, and in the front from here to here. That's why I had to trim the body. And I'm gonna tilt this wheel back out more. Like I said, that's nothing. I've seen a little resistance in it, but once I tilt the wheel just a half of turn, that usually does it. The same thing I did over here, half a turn. I don't have the measure, how'd you call it? Some kind of tire angle or whatever you want to call it, test the tire angle. But I'll get that. I can easily just cut something. Yeah, I mean, all it is pieces. I can cut a piece of styrofoam to where I am now and just, I have ways. Take a piece of styrofoam. You can sit it on this side. If this is good for you, you sit it on this side. If this is good for you, just take a marker and just draw up the styrofoam. But you have to be good and have a good eye with things like that. But yeah, and just take that to the other side. Take it to the other side, whatever side you want. So yeah. But that's my views of it. If anybody want to know what size motor fits in here, it seems like the 4082. That's the size, and that's what I've been seeing a lot of people run. They have the Leopard motor, that was in here, which some guys had to go down and pin on that one, and had to actually mess with this for a little bit. Well, it wasn't as snug, so you had to have a fan, which, see, I have. That's no problem. That's why I say I add that in from the beginning. I knew about the size issue that may be. So when I added these fans, that was one of my reasons for putting it here, because when you turn it over, as you can see, these screws slide side to side to get the motor out. So once you unscrew this, these can slide freely. I'm not hitting my fans. This can move over freely. I'm not hitting my fans. And I can slide the motor out the back, or I can just, however I want to do. I have options. So, and this, like I said, just follow some of my ideas, people. I don't understand what people think. I have an eye for things, like some things like this. So just take heed. And also, too, guys, clean this area. Keep this clean. I already went through this in my last video. Keep all of this clean. This clean. This clean. There's not too much that gets into this body, which I have something that I'm going to put on here as far as a mud flap, like you'll see. So I'm going to have some kind of like mud flap hanging maybe here. And I'm going to size it up. And as you see, I have I have space. So maybe even if you look at it, maybe a piece of this foam here and just glue it. Glue it. That's all you really have to do. Glue it on the inside of the body. And I'm going to show you an idea, and it's lightweight. You're gluing it really to the window. And maybe not even the whole thing, cut a section off, maybe a little cup out. That'll stop the water. Air still gets in, the water doesn't get in, and it drops straight down on your chest. Now, from there, and I may try this on there. From there, I've been thought about this, drilling maybe a hole in the back for a runoff. The hole in the back for a runoff, because, like I said, with these tires and things like that, I think that would be one of the best ideas you can have here. Just that for runoff. And also, what I'm going to do too is maybe drill another hole here just for me, just because the setup I have. Maybe a hole here, just about the same size as the one that's there. If you see it, just the same size. And then let the fan suck that in a little more. That's when I go to the higher KV and things like that. Because this is only a 1300, so Yeah, it's kind of sluggish with these tires on. But as far as once you open it up, yeah, everything's the factory set, still set for the punch and everything. I find that good enough in a lot of these videos, unless I'm really trying to get like a good speed run. Whereas though I just wanted to just take off, or if you got a drift car and then I'm going, you know, I want to lower my throttle. I don't want to just gas it. And I don't want to have to turn my knobs on my trim. Just set that and leave it. So yeah, and as you can see, uh, there it is. And as you can see, if you look at it still, you can see the difference in the, see how you can see that space on that side, and you have to come all the way over a little more. So a good way to do this, like, see, that's head on. Just line your camera up, just with the body in that space. That's a good way to judge some things too. Now you see how that's leaning a little more. So yeah, and it's not the body. I already checked that part. But these tires are good. Actually, what I did too, I go high in the shock oil because I set my own shocks. That's it. I just set my own shocks. I set my own shocks because I land hard at times. I just give a little tug. I haven't really been doing speed runs. I just been hitting a lot of objects where so I like to bounce, the hard ride and all of that stuff, and get off the gas. And that's the way I've been learning to can just handle the center diff thing because it's been easing up now. Once they glide over things now, I just want to gun it. So that's like a training wheel mode for me. So once I go up in KV, get a little more comfortable with the wheels and all, then I'll lighten up on the shocks and on the shock oil, and so it can bounce and go in, and the body can take some of that instead of everything just drawing straight onto my shocks. So yeah. So right now I have this really set. In other videos I said, you should have a weak point in your cars. Well, right now, only weak point I have in here is my shocks because I want them to take much damage as possible and off any arms, anything. So if I land hard, shocks, I don't mind buying them. So I can tear those up. As far as the different all of that, like I said, I haven't been doing too much running. Like I said, when I up in KV, then I'll adjust that shock oil. But right now, this is factory, so I'm not pretty too much worried about the factory stuff. So I'll give you guys another look. And they have other models of these tires here. I'll go the long way for you. Like I said, this thing is nice. Like I said, it's a nice look for the car too. And if you want to see it from the side, you can just look at it, comparison or whatever you want to call it. So imagine that, it's a nice little comparison for you. And here's one for the back. Take your eyes off and put it back. See the front, nice. And a whole comparison to the back. And boom. Okay. And rear view to let you see. Actually, like I said, the wheels are more or less even here. I want that center line touching the ground at all times. Say that just to smoothen it out as much as possible and get much grip as possible. I'm not worried about tipping because like I said, it doesn't go that fast to tip. Not with these anyway, I've seen. And the front view. In the front, I have just a slight lean in them because for steering. So in the back, I have a slight lean, but I'm adjusting that back out. But yeah, it's not a bad truck at all. I don't see the complaints. I don't see why everybody is just something to say, I guess. Because first it was about the earthquake, and they complained, why was it in so big of a truck and so much power in a small truck, dude. It's a toy. It's for a hobby. Now, either way you look at it, make it better. And that's what you do. And that's what you do. So, that'll be it for today, guys. Like, subscribe, custom built for play, go mode. Philly, we out here. Like, subscribe. Peace out.